We got some animal songs for you. Walking all around the town, singing all the people down, talking around, talking around. Me and my cat named Dog are walking high against the fog, singing the sun, singing the sun. Sad and crazy wonder, choking up my mind with perpetual dream. I'm drifting up and down the street, searching for the sound of people swinging their feet, swinging their feet. Dog is a good old cat. Dog is a good old cat. People, what you think of that? People, what you think That's of where I'm that? At. That's where I'm at. Happy, sad, and crazy wonder, choking up my mind with perpetual dreaming. Hang bones, everybody. That's where I'm at, that's where I'm at. Walking all around the town, singing all the people down, talking around, talking around.
Green. Testing, testing. There we are. I'm there. Good morning, Jubilee. Good morning. And thank you, Paula, Ryan, and Hank Bones for our World Beat Band. It's good to have those of you who are here today, and including our two little doggies. Maybe we'll have a few more animals for the blessing. Oh, is there another animal over here? Cats! We have cats! All right! Woo! We have cats and dogs. All right. And those of you who are watching from home, I welcome you to bring your animals up to the screen with you. And since we can't see you, it would be really fun if you have a picture of your animal. You could drop it in the Facebook Live comments, and we can all ooh and ah over your cuties a little bit later today. So welcome all of you. Welcome those of you who are near, those of you who are farther away. And because we want to welcome those who are watching online, it's very, very helpful for those of us who are in the room to turn our phones off, or at least turn the Wi-Fi off. On most phones, if you just turn it into airplane mode, the Wi-Fi will go off. Apparently there's some phones where that's not true. So you just need to make sure the Wi-Fi is off, and that helps us all. Thanks so much for doing that. So yesterday afternoon, I did a little simple wedding with just a few family and friends out in Cataloochee Valley. And I had not been to Cataloochee in years. I live an hour from Cataloochee, and I'm driving in and I'm thinking, why don't I come to Cataloochee? People come from all over the world to Cataloochee, and I live an hour away. So I'm just appreciating the beauty of the mountains and the crazy road that it takes to get there. And we get down, and we have this sweet, simple little wedding, very easy. And we turn around, and out of the woods comes this huge elk. And I mean, I've seen the elk in Cataloochee. This was a big guy. And his rack was, I don't know how big. I mean, I don't know how did they hold their heads up? Anyway, it went at least 6 feet out. He was definitely a big guy. And we all sort of stood very still, backed up a little bit, let him pass by our wedding party. And he just kept passing because there was a female sitting over in the field beyond us. And so he and she hung out together there for another, I don't know how long. I hung out with them for about an hour, as did many of the tourists lining the roads. But it was a wonderful reminder this day before the blessing of the animals and our celebration of St. Francis about all God's creatures. Talk about an unexpected guest at your wedding. That was fun. All God critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. And some just clap their hands or pause or anything they got now. So today we are blessing our special guest. Any winged ones? I don't think anybody brought any of their birds. No parrots here. Paul Howie's parrot isn't going to be repeating everything I say this morning. Our four-leggeds, nobody brought any swimming ones, but we can imagine them wherever they are. And some of them are here with us. So today we are sailing into the mystic with these creatures who are closer to the mystical than we are because they don't have the monkey minds that distract us from the truth of who they are. Today we sail into the mystic with St. Francis of Assisi, patron saint of ecologists. Francis died on this day, October 3rd, in 1226. And so around the world, it is common to honor his feast day with the blessing of the animals. And we're going to welcome all of the animals we have with us today. And let's see if we can get them to sing along with us. How about that, Paula?
Yeah.
Let's sing us in.
Reach out your hand if your cup be empty, if your cup is full, maybe again let it be known. There is a fountain that was made by the hands of men. Reach out your hand. If your cup be empty, if your cup is full, may it be again, let it be known. There is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men.
That's right.
Good morning, Jubilee.
Good morning, Yona.
You know, it's like George Carlin said, animals are good people. You don't see them out carjacking people or robbing banks. Good people. And it's an honor to come here today and to honor not only the animals, but all the living beings of earth, because aren't we all creatures? We're all creatures, we're all creations of something greater than ourselves. So in this moment, whenever we're sending out energy and blessings to the animals, let's remember to bless the love that lives in our heart, that honors the animals. In the Cherokee tradition, we offer the tobacco. The tobacco is a tangible reminder of our prayers and energies going up to the Great Spirit for our prayers and our visions to be answered or to be realized. In whatever way, in a good way, we receive what the Creator sends back to us. And that's part of the mystery, because sometimes we just don't know the answers. So if you will, please, join me as we face the east. Oh, ancestors of the east, we thank you for your love and light. We thank you for all the warmth that you give us. We thank you for the mystery of where you go at nighttime. We thank you for all that you do to bless us. We ask you to continue to shine your love and your light and your wisdom above all of us and all the living beings of this earth, all the animals and all the trees and everything on down further the list. We know that we ask you to continue to bless us in a good way. And come and dance with us this day and join us to celebrate in a good way, ancestors. Face to the south, please. Oh, ancestors of the south, we thank you. We thank you for your greatness. We thank you, Water Nation, for all that you do to help us quench our thirst for the great mystery. We ask you to continue to nurture us and grow our seed. Sometimes our gratitude goes so deep that silence is the only gratitude we know to give. Know that our silence in times is the greatest honor. In a good way, we honor you. Come and join us this day in a good way. Face to the west, please. Oh, ancestors of the west, to all of those that have gone before, thank you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your vision. All the animal creatures out there and all the animal spirits, we thank you. We ask you to hear the voices of all of those that call upon you in their time of need, their time of want. We ask you to recognize our voice, to recognize our heartbeat, to recognize our vision and our prayer, and to come and join us in our dance to the future in a good way. Face to the north, please. The whole spirits of the north, we're in gratitude for your presence. We thank you for the wind. We thank you for the beauty, for all the things that you share with us that we may not even know of. For all the things that we do, know that we are in such gratitude in the depths of our spirit. We ask you, Wind Nation, to blow through our souls and our spirit to help us soar to those places that love only knows to go. Come and dance with us in a good way. And face the center, please. Oh, ancestors, thank you for this beautiful altar. Thank you for knowing that we acknowledge in this time of year the barrenness that's about to approach us. As we lay bare our souls and our spirits, help us to find comfort in the blessing of the soul that lies within. Help us to realize the truth and the richness of the prayers that live inside of us, and know that we offer these to you in a good way.
For our first hymn, we sing a real hymn this week, an old-fashioned hymn written by St. Francis, his Canticle to the Sun, adapted from that, and a Ralph Vaughan Williams adaptation of an old hymn. Join in, new words. And let's feed the hungry.
All creatures of our God and
Time for Jubilee in action. So a reminder that every Sunday we have child care. Misty Leatherwood has set up a beautiful room downstairs, lots of sunlight coming in the windows for the kids to play. We have begun posting job openings on our website. The first one is the pastoral care provider, and more openings will be listed as soon as the job descriptions are finished. On October 6th, the Jubilee Singers will be taping an upcoming Gift of Song, and it'll take place outside, and if you'd like to attend, contact Terry Sandoval for the location and for the details. Kirsten Ezel's artwork is in the hospitality room, and 50% of the proceeds of any sales go to the Hunger Fund, so that's a good way to support the Hunger Fund. There's lots of opportunities to become a more engaged member of our community, creating a gift for an upcoming Sunday celebration, helping with Sunday setup, joining a team or committee, all good stuff to do. Details on these announcements are on our homepage and the Jubilee in Action page of our website. And please leave the chairs where they are. It makes it easier for next week's setup. Now there's going to be a gift of video from a jubilant, and I'm just going to have to go grab the clicker because I forgot to bring it up with me.
Right. Let's see if this critter can get this thing on right. Well, every year we have blessed the animals. And the animals bless us. Yes, they do. And there's a bunch here. I see a bunch here. Oh, wait, I need to look down. There's a bunch here. There's a bunch here. There's a bunch here. So, we just sang all creatures great and small. And they sing to us. Oh, yes, they do. How many of you, no, that's a silly question. Every single one of you talks to your critters in a silly voice, and you know you do. Even if you have fish or turtles, and they have you. You know you do. You've got those silly little voices. You know you do. Oh, I see all those critters moving. How would you talk to God in that way? Oh, big guy. Oh, big girl. Would it sound like that? Would God talk to us like that? Would God bless us like that? Who knows? But our critters bless us every single day. All critters. Teeny weeny. Big. Grand. We are blessed because we have ancient teachers throughout time that have reminded us how important it is to know that we are a part of this. Little itty bitty things like this are a part of us. Our DNA. And this DNA is pretty darn close. When we bless creation, creation blesses us. So today, when we bless our four-leggeds, our scaly friends, our feathery friends, I know a guy who raises praying mantises, so I don't know how many legs they have. 6, 8, something like that. When we bless those critters, we're blessing ourselves. Blessing ourselves. We may be blessing the spirits and the memories of those critters who are no longer physically present with us. They're blessing us still. There is no change. The story goes on. We're forever changed. Have you ever picked up a turtle in the middle of the road and moved it off to the side? That changed the story of your life, and it certainly changed the story of theirs. One day, a few minutes, and it changed you. We are blessed. We are blessed. Say it. We are blessed.
We are blessed.
Oh, I heard critters say it too. Just in a different way. So Jubilee community, I invite you as you are able to stand and on video, bring your critters to the camera. Bring your critters up close. Let's see those critters. Let's see them. And bring, as you feel comfortable, bring your critters up to the center. Take your Benadryl. There may be barking, there may be meowing, and you may want to even make some of your own sounds. So, repeat after me. God bless you, critters.
God bless you, critters.
You furry and feathery ones.
You furry and feathery ones.
You scaly and slimy ones.
You scaly and slimy ones.
You tiny and tall ones. bring us great joy.
You bring us great joy.
You remind us that we are critters too.
You remind us that we are critters too.
And we must be good to our home.
And we must be good to our home.
You make a delightful mess of things.
You make a delightful mess of things.
And remind us that we are all in this together.
And remind us that we are all in this together.
We oink with you.
We oink with you.
We caw-caw with you.
We caw-caw with you.
We meow with you.
Meow with you.
We love you. God bless you, critters.
God bless you, critters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, sit.
So now we're going to get some bowls ringing, and maybe we'll get a little howling going with us too. We don't know what's going to happen. But if you want to ring or sing a bowl, there are a couple up at the table still. And I invite you to join us in this time of prayer. There are many ways of praying. We have a table over here where you can write down prayer concerns, and we put them on the prayer wall inside our wailing wall over there. You can light a candle. You can sit in silence. You can ring your bowls. We ring these bowls to fill our ears with sound and our hearts with their vibrations. To remember that all of our senses are engaged in this act of prayer. The prayer is not just something we think about, but something we do with our feet and our hands, with our voices and our eyes and our ears. How we see, how we hear, how we touch, who we touch. All our prayer. How are we praying this day? In this circle, we honor the earth every week. And this week especially, we honor all the creatures of the earth. All the creatures of the earth. All the creatures. I invite you to bring into your heart something that brings you joy. Picture it, hear it, see it, smell it, feel the joy. And offer that joy as a prayer.
In the midst of the morning, we open to all of the gifts of the day.
going to have just a word from our board chair before we move on to our teachings of the day.
Hey everybody, I'm Michelle Smith, and I am not your board chair because I have not been elected board chair. I am your board vice chair, and I'm serving. That's okay. But I'm honored to serve. And I just want to take a quick minute, not much to report about the board except that minutes are up, but they're draft minutes because they're not official minutes until the next board meeting when they're approved. And, you know, people may still take a look at them and make suggestions, but generally they're up. And if you go to who we are and board and then go on the board page, you'll see a link. And that'll be the minutes, that'll have the agenda and then the decisions that were made. And then there are links out to notes. So it's, you know, it's kind of just one page and then links. And that's how, and we may do it different another time. We're still designing these print systems, but just want you to know that they're there for you to see our conversation. Peace.
And one more board announcement. We've been doing these mini retreats, and we were going to do another one in October. But after the last board meeting, we started imagining some different kinds of conversations. And so a group met this past week, made it board members and non-board members, and we're going to meet again this week, and we're planning a series of conversations. And we're not sure how many, but at least 2. And they're both going to be on Sunday afternoons right here, we think, although we may look for park shelters if that feels a little better. But the first one will be 2 weeks from today on October 17th. So, and then there'll be one on the 31st because we thought Halloween is an amazing liminal time between the worlds to bring in some good energy. So we're also going to have one of them right after church on Halloween, that's a Sunday this year. And these are conversations that will be guided and facilitated, but full of your thoughts and energy about what you could commit to. This isn't just like big brainstorming, all the things we wish we had, but what could you commit to for the future of Jubilee? Okay, now one more thing, and then I'm going to get to our readings of the day. But, you know, we are blessing all these critters today, and we're being reminded that we too are critters. And one of the things I love about, I have loved about this place, my son used to come here and go downstairs with Vicky, and we haven't had as many younger people, and by younger people I mean like under 50 in the room recently. Hey, all right, there are a few. I say as many. But Emma, her birthday is today. How old are you today, Emma? 13. Oh, lucky 13. So I think we need a little happy birthday. I'm totally putting Paula on the spot there, but could we do a little?
Yeah. Let's just do it and sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emma. Happy birthday to you.
Listen now for these ancient words. From St. Francis, we hear, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. And from poet Mary Oliver, The multiplicity of forms. The hummingbird, the fox, the raven, the sparrowhawk, the otter, the dragonfly, the water lily, and on and on. It must be a great disappointment to God if we are not dazzled at least 10 times a day. Friends, this is ancient wisdom and holy word.
Thanks be to all that is wise and holy.
All creation is wisdom and holy word.
All creation sings with wisdom of God. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All God's creatures got a place in the fire. Some glow and some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire, and some just clap their hands
For anything they got now. All right, sing along.
Here we go, we'll do that again. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on the telephone wire, and some just clap their hands for anything they got now.
So Jubilee was founded on the idea that all God's critters got a place in the choir. That whether you're well-dressed or barely dressed, devout or doubting, years sober or recently hungover, laughing or crying, this would be a choir you could join. Jubilee had more important things to think about than what you were doing with your genitals, like feeding the hungry, sheltering those without a home, creating space for those who felt left out. And Jubilee believes we can do all of these things while having fun. Singing, dancing, laughing. Now, in 1989, not 1899, 1989, there weren't that many Sunday morning faith communities where you could find this unusual combination. Back then, there was no Friday night drum circle. Asheville had only one yoga studio, no yoga in the park or annual yoga festival. Can you imagine Asheville with only one yoga studio? There would be no Great Tree Zen Temple for another 15 years, no Urban Dharma for another 21 years, and if there was a church in town with a rock band, it was probably pretty evangelical in nature. This week, a member of a church that I served almost 20 years ago wrote a blog post about being gay and Christian and how she'd always managed to be both, and she was referencing her wedding, which happened to be one of my last acts as a full-time Presbyterian minister. And she said that in 2004, officiating that wedding was taking a chance to risk censure. As I read that, I realized it's hard to remember 17 years later that that was ever risky. In the 32 years since Jubilee was born, the world has changed dramatically. The spiritual landscape of America has shifted significantly too, and Asheville is a microcosm of that change. During the pandemic, when we were all seeking out our community life online, the already busy world of spiritual podcasts and YouTube channels got even busier.
All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high. Some sing out loud on the telephone wire, and some just clap their hands for anything they got now.
So these days, God's critters have more choirs to join. And at the same time, fewer critters than ever in human history wish to join one. And yet, here we are. We have beautiful art by Kristen Ezell hanging in the hospitality room, and if you haven't noticed, she has a series on the Vias, and she's got small prints of the Vias too, if you don't want to buy the bigger canvas ones. We have Paula leading our amazing and talented band. We have a lovely altar created by Molly Pritchard and beautiful flowers from Joanne Rose. We have Yona and Jay offering thoughtful and playful rituals. And we sit every week under hundreds of prayer flags created with the loving energy of members of this community. So I want to just take a moment and look up at these flags and realize that every single flag represents a person or more than one persons, and a prayer or more than one prayer. Just breathe in all that prayer energy that hovers over us every week. So today, as we bless our animals and honor and mourn species that are no longer with us, we sail into the mystic with St. Francis. Francis, like the early Jubilants, wanted to start a new community within the church, and a community more devoted to those living on the margins and to the non-human members. As he praised creation, he praised Sister Moon and Brother Sun and Sister Water and Brother Fire and Mother Earth. Francis reminded Christians of his day of the tradition of the Psalms. His words weren't so much new as they were a renewal of an old tradition. We have statues of Francis, well, we have one right here this morning, as well as one of Julian with her cat. That's right, it was Julian, right? Julian with her cat. And we have statues of Francis in our gardens because he reminded us to go out into creation to find God. Francis came from a very wealthy family, and he famously stripped himself naked when he formally renounced his large inheritance. He voluntarily chose a life of poverty, becoming a homeless beggar to live among those who could not choose otherwise. Dedicated to walking with the poor, Francis challenged the complacency of the church and its wealth and its complicity in creating poverty. He believed that opening our hearts more and more widely in compassion to those on the edges of society was the clearest path into understanding the heart of God. Francis, like so many of the mystics, was a poet. Now, I grew up with his most famous prayer hanging on our wall, embroidered on a plain cloth, not unlike the cloth that Franciscans still wear. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me so love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there's doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. Meister Eckhart over here says that the only prayer we ever need to say is thank you, and I believe him. But if we were going to say just one more prayer, I might make it this one of St. Francis. It's been put to numerous musical arrangements over the years, and I love this simple one we're going to sing today by Barry Dennis. Sufi mystic poet Hafiz put it this way: I am a hole in a flute that the Christ's breath moves through. Listen to this music.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Of your peace, of your peace.
dogs have taught them about unconditional love. How excited they are to see us whether we deserve it or not. How forgiving they are when we're inattentive. How joyous they are when we walk in the door. This path of walking the human way is an opportunity to consciously embody what creation teaches us over and over. This incarnational experiment that we're part of is a chance to bring into the world that breath of God and send that breath back out. With each breath, a new chance. If on our previous breath we were not so loving, we pause, we breathe, we begin again. Just this breath, just this one, is our next chance.
Lord, make me an instrument of your love. Lord, make me an instrument of your love. Lord, make me an instrument of your love. Of your love, of your love, of your love.
The world's approach to spirituality has shifted radically in 32 years that this community's existed. And Asheville's opportunities to grow spiritually have changed dramatically in that same time. But what I believe has not changed are these things. Our need to stand outside of the power structures of our world, even if only for 1 hour a week, in order to see things differently so that we might grow in compassion. Our need to connect with the rest of the natural world, the plants, the water, the animals, in order to listen to them and learn from them. Our need to practice what we learn, to practice compassion, to practice the ways of nature, to practice returning to our breath over and over, to practice deepening our capacity for healing and for love. And 4, our need for companions on this journey to help us practice. To help us remember. To join us in taking just that next breath.
Lord, make me an instrument of your love. Lord, make me an instrument of your love. Lord, make me an instrument of your love. Of your love, of your love.
Francis did each of these things. He left his wealth to stand with the poor. He stepped outside the church to listen to the animals and the plants. He practiced becoming an instrument of peace and love, and he formed a community around him to help shape and maintain that practice. I don't know what the future of Jubilee looks like, but I know that these needs continue to exist. The need to gain a new perspective so we can grow in compassion, the need to connect with creation, the need to deepen our capacities for love, the need for companions on the journey. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there's doubt, faith. Where there's despair, hope. Where there's darkness, light. where there is sadness, joy. Where there is sadness, joy. Where there is sadness, so I'll add one more item to that list of things we all need. We need a place to share our joy. How many of you have walked into your house after a rough day only to find your dog greeting you with such unbounded love, with such a playful, wagging tail, such pure, unadulterated excitement that you just had to set aside your lousy feelings and just join in the love fest? No matter what's going on, we all need that kind of love in our lives, that kind of joy in our lives. And at our best, we bring that joy to each other.
Lord, make me an instrument of your joy. Come on, sing. Lord, make me an instrument of your joy. Lord, make me an instrument of your joy. Of your joy.
So the root word for Jubilee comes from the Hebrew word yobel, which was a trumpet made out of a ram's horn. And the blowing of this horn celebrated a time of great joy. Now, biblically speaking, Jubilee was not just a feeling, but a celebration of liberation. The year of Jubilee is the time when all debts are forgiven, all slaves are freed, all land is returned to its previous owners. It is a time of repair and reparations. The blowing of the horn had clear economic and social implications. The physical embodiment of our spiritual connectedness meant that all people and all animals would be freed. Physically free, economically free, free to be full members of the community. Freedom like that brings balance back into our universe. And balance brings peace. And peace creates a space for love and for joy to flourish. Oh, Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. Let's sing all three verses: peace, love, joy. And if you feel like standing up to sing, stand up.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Of your peace. Of your peace. Of your peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your love. Lord, make me an instrument of your love. Lord, make me an instrument of your love. Of your love. Of your love. Of your love.
Joy. Sing it like you mean it.
Lord, make me an instrument of your joy.
As those bowls are going around, let's sing a reminder from Julian that all shall be well.
All shall be well. All shall be well. All things shall be well. All shall be well. All shall be
So go out into your world this week, appreciating all God's critters, including yourself, and knowing that the breath of God blows through you like a flute. You are a hole in that flute. And so you are able to breathe out into the world and be an instrument of love, of peace, and of joy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's sing ourselves into this.
We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. The body goes wrong as we sail into the mystery. Heart now hears the sailors cry, scout the sea, feels the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly as we sail to the mystery. Let your soul and spirit fly as we sail to the mystery.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Gotta get your hand bones on this next one.
I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. He let us in, knows where we've been in his octopus's garden in the shade. I'd ask my friends to come and see an octopus's garden with me. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. We would be warm beneath the storm in our little hideaway beneath the waves, resting about the coral that lies beneath the waves. Oh, what joy for every girl and boy, knowing they're happy and they're safe. We would be so happy, you and me, no one were to tell us what to do. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden with you. In an octopus's garden with you. In an octopus's garden